Hi, welcome back to The Scent Advocate. Tonight, I want to talk about fragrances that resonate with Generation X, which I am a part of. They say that Generation X turned 30 at the age of 10 and is still 30 at the age of 50, and I could not agree more. We're definitely a unique group of folks. We experienced huge swings in culture and technology, and I think that makes us pretty different. The fragrances from my collection are not fragrances that were born in my youth, right? These aren't fragrances that came out when I was a kid and I'm waxing nostalgic because, oh, I've got one in my collection. I mean, those are great too. But these are fragrances that are a modern expression, but are reminiscent of qualities from fragrances that came out when I was younger or were popular when I was younger. So imagine something you wore in your teens and early 20s, perhaps, that maybe something, you borrowed from your mom or your dad, and it's, completely new, completely different now, but there's something about it that takes you back. That's what we're going to talk about. It's got that Gen X quality, something that resonates with us in a very unique way. And so we're not going to be going to, any fragrances that came out in the 80s or 70s or 90s. I just want to say before I get into this video that I am taking some of the constructive feedback I got from you all, those of you who've subscribed or left a comment. I am repositioning myself here. Feel free to let me know if this is better or worse. I'm not as far back. I thought I was too close before, but maybe not. So let me know in the comments how this is, because I'm trying to get there. I'm definitely not a cinematographer, not even an amateur one. So feel free to leave me more comments on how this looks and whether it's in any way distracting, because it is all about the fragrance here, right? Okay. If you are not yet a subscriber, please consider becoming one. I absolutely love to read your comments, so please leave comments. I read them and I respond to every single one. And if you like the video at the end, please give me a thumbs up. Let's jump right in. The first fragrance I want to talk about that really resonates with me as a Gen Xer is Another 13 by Labo. Now, this fragrance is pretty popular. So like all of these fragrances, right? They're for everyone, but there's something about it that touches the Gen Xer in me. And for me, what I get from this fragrance is a little bit of aldehyde mixed with the ISOE Super. Yes, it's there. So the aldehyde is classic from the Chanel No. 5 type fragrances, right? Something that was really powerful when I was younger. And then the ISOE Super has that really wonderful but artificial quality to it. And that was kind of big when I was young too. The fragrances didn't smell as natural, just wasn't a thing. And then the ambrette, which I get a lot of in this. So I get those three things big time. The ambrette harkens back to the wonderful musks that we had when I was young. There were all different kinds of, white musk, floral musk, vanilla musk, musk. It was great. There were just so many musks. And this takes me back to that experience. I also love the fact that it is unisex, although I think it leans feminine. This fragrance is perfect for day or evening. It is perfect for any weather. You just can't go wrong with it. I also think it's universally likable, but that's just me. I have read comments that some people are unable to smell it on themselves, but others around them can smell it. So they have a problem with overspraying. So definitely consider testing this before you buy. And this one really just took me right back. Another 13 by Le Labo. Okay, next we've got, I love this one. This is Oud Palao by Diptyque. Oh, yes. This is an EDP. It is 75 mil. And oh, what I love about this fragrance, you guys, is there used to be, I think it was like one of the original Fendis to come out in the 80s. I was in high school. And back then, I would get like one or two perfumes a year as like, I don't know, a birthday present or a Christmas present. And that was all I had. I didn't make enough money babysitting or anything to afford something. So I had to wait until I got a gift. And so I didn't have that many. And I really loved Fendi back then. This does not smell like that original Fendi, but it takes me back to it. This is its own thing, but it's got a quality that reminds me of that Fendi, that deep, rich, but not maybe as authentic as it could be oud, more of a Western oud. And oh gosh, a little animalic and a dark flower, but it's the expression of the oud in this fragrance that is just, it's right there. And it's more mature, in my opinion, than Fendi would smell on me today if I were to have the exact same fragrance. I don't know what's been reformulated. I don't know if you can even get it anymore, but I sure did love it. And I wore it every day for like a year. And I cannot find anything that reads authentic and unadulterated. So I haven't purchased anymore, at least not in many, many years. So this will get you closer to that experience, but understand this is not an inspired by. This is its own thing, but it's something in there that, in my opinion, will take you back to those wonderful days when you wore fragrances like that. Oud Palau. These are hard to explain. It's harder to explain than I thought it would be. I thought these words would just kind of roll off my tongue, explaining how it was, what it is about these fragrances that, are reminiscent of what I experienced and why I love them so much. Okay, this one is going to be even harder. This is Tom Ford's White Suede. And this is, oh gosh, I have just used the hell out of this. 50 mil eau de parfum. This fragrance leans masculine to me. By the way, Oud Palau is unisex, and I think it leans a little masculine, but it's so wonderful. I don't care. I will wear it as a woman without a problem. White Suede smells like a men's cologne from the 80s. Not exactly like, but it is reminiscent of a men's cologne from the 80s. It's powdery, very clean. There's a little soapy element to it. And of course, it's got a suede quality. But back in the 80s, there was this stuff called shower to shower powder, and like everyone used it. It was, I believe it was talc, and I'm pretty sure that, talc isn't used for various reasons as much anymore. I won't get into that, but there was a shower to shower powder, and it says it just triggers a memory of that shower to shower. And a cologne, I can't remember the name of it. It's a little bit woody, like a blonde wood. Oh, it's so beautiful. White Suede by Tom Ford. I adore it. It is very nostalgic for me to wear. Okay. Next. Okay, this one is just, those of you who are around my age, you have to resonate with this one. It is Kiehl's Original Musk. This smells a lot like those 80s musks. Yeah. You know, it may not be the most authentic smelling musk out there if you are a true musk aficionado and you like the real strong animalic, either actuals or derivatives or uh, uh, what do they call them? Analogs, whatever, not the real thing, but they come close. Even if you like the ambrette, this is its own thing. This reminds me of an 80s musk. Like Jovan. I mean, only it's its own thing, okay? This is not a replica by any means, but there's a quality that takes you back. And so like all of these, if you're looking for that nostalgic feeling in a fragrance that doesn't read dated, it's today, it's perfect for now, but it gives you deep down that nostalgic feel. And you love a good musk. Here you go, right here. This will take you back, friends. This probably leans masculine. Again, I don't care. I wear what I like. And then, oh, let's do this one. There used to be a hairspray called Salon Selectives. Oh, gosh. And it was apple, but it was so good. And I loved it. It was really effective. And so you got to know that back then, if you're not from my generation, like we used to feather our hair and we used to, you know, have like big perms and everything. And you had to, in order for it not to just flatten out, you had to volumize it. And because these curls would want to, you know, settle down, right? When you first curl your hair, it would have a lot of life, a lot of bounce, and then it would settle down. Well, in order to keep it puffy, you needed something, you know, and volume was important. So what we did was we used to like grab our hair and we'd spray it and then we'd blow dry it so it would like stay up. Yeah. And what was really good for that was there were many, but Salon Selectives was one that smelled especially good. Now, Salon Selectives used to leave like a residue on my hands that I used to use so much hairspray, I could peel it off. It was unbelievable. This stuff worked though. It was like shellac for your hair. And here we have Macaque by Zoologist. Okay. This is an extrait. And it is the Fuji Apple edition. This is how many mils? We've got 60 mil. And you gotta love the art on these bottles, right? I think they may have come out with new bottles recently, but this is the one I have. So Macaque. This resonated with me because if you took the apple from Salon Selectives hairspray and you matured it and you gave it some really beautifully aged hardwood and a little bit of that patchouli incense, like the kind they used to sell in Pier 1. Remember that stuff? Oh, yeah. And the apple doesn't smell synthetic. I do think that a lot of the fragrances from the 80s came off as really synthetic. This is more natural, but there's something about the apple in it that takes me right back. Please leave me a comment if any of this is making sense to you guys. I hope I'm not the only one who remembers these things, but oh my gosh. And if you have smelled this, do you get that too? Like, does it take you back? I know maybe, you know, if you're masculine, you probably don't have as much experience with hairspray, although there were plenty of guys back then who wore lots of hairspray. You know, hairstyles were amazing back then. Gravity defying. Zoologist Macaque Fuji Apple Edition. Okay. What have we got next? Oh gosh. Okay. One more and then I'm gonna stop. Okay. So this is Tom Ford's Electric Cherry Eau de Parfum. Don't get mad. I know that people love this one or they have really strong opinions that are not as loving. This is 50 mil. Did I say that? Eau de parfum. This smells like, uh, this smells like, it makes me think of a Debbie Gibson song. Remember, like Only in My Dreams. And then she came out with that one song called Electric Youth. And when I saw Electric Cherry, it just made me think of Electric Youth, and this sort of color. This is very like 80s color, and not all of the Tom Ford cherry fragrances have the same bottle color. This one is, I think, yeah, they're all a little bit different, and this is the brightest one. And, we were all about the bright colors, and they used to have this brand called the United Colors of Benetton. Everything was super bright, and, this was definitely among those bright, happy colors. We used to wear these outrageous neon colors too, like that was a thing. And not anymore, thank goodness, but it was fun at the time. Yeah, lots of bright fruit that doesn't exactly smell real, but it's really nice. I get some aldehydes in here too, again, kind of harkening back to that Chanel legacy. A synthetic, but absolutely high energy, beautiful. Everything's wonderful. Everything's going to be great. Let's go for a walk outside, and, it's bright and beautiful. And, this, going to like they used to have like these roller skating rinks back then, and everyone would go, and you just kind of skate around in a circle, and you'd meet your friends there, and you'd hope the cute guys were checking you out, and you would wear something along these lines. These were the types of fragrances that you wore to places like that, or to like a school dance where our hair again was really, really big, and we wore these dresses that for some reason looked like we were, I don't know, coming from, mid 19th century prairie. I never got that one, but I wore them too. And this was the kind of thing you wore. And this just takes me back to those days. This definitely leans feminine. It's a lot of fun. It's a modern grown-up take on that kind of fragrance, that kind of scent profile. I think this is wonderful for daytime. It's definitely more sophisticated than, an 80s teen fragrance. It reads a little bit expensive, definitely not something that, a kid back then, at least not, in my life's experience, could have afforded. Like all Tom Ford, they're on the pricier side in my opinion, but definitely great stuff, and it takes me right back. Have you tried Electric Cherry? And again, this is not the end all be all, artistic cherry expression of today's age. I'm not saying that. I'm saying this is fun, and yet it's for a grown up, but a grown-up who is feeling a little nostalgic. Great stuff. I really love it. Electric Cherry by Tom Ford. Okay, I think I'll stop there. Let me know in the comments if this makes sense to you, if it's just totally outer limits, you don't get it at all, because I do have more, and I was thinking of doing a part 2. So again, let me know what you think. Give me a like, and I'd love it if you'd leave a comment, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.